trailer. Come on, give me a round of applause. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting patiently. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of India's most talented actors, Mr. Shahid Kapoor, and one of India's most talented directors, Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj. Come on, you can make more noise than that. Mr. Bhardwaj, without further ado, the first question has to be with you. When did you first fall in love with William Shakespeare?
That was very late because in school, everyone hates that to work on Merchant of Venice or Hamlet or something like that. But later, when first time I saw Kurosawa's Throne of, the first time when I saw that, I went back to Shakespeare and started reading all his plays from Macbeth to then Othello, then everything I read. So that's where I realized the power of this genius man called Shakespeare.
But did you ever think that your first adaptation, Makbul, would be so fantastic and you'd be here doing a third one?
No. I never thought that because it took me like 2-3 years to put that project together because nobody was ready to finance that film.
Really?
Yeah, it was very difficult. So I could never imagine that one day I'll be sitting here with my trilogy completed.
Mm-hmm. And is it true that Hamlet wasn't your first choice? I heard that you were considering King Lear as well.
No, it was not the matter of the first choice. I was confused between King Lear and Hamlet.
And Shahid, before we get to Haider, what was it like working with this great man on Kamine? Because for me, he brought out the best in you, and I think it's your finest performance.
Well, yes, most definitely. I think Vishal sir is somebody who's made me look at myself as an actor in a different light. And that for me is something which is very huge. It's something that's going to be a part of my career graph and my own understanding of what are the kind of roles that one should be choosing. So Kamine was an eye-opener for me. I think it was something which shook me up and made me realize that it's important to try things which are out of the box and do something which is unexpected and take a few risks. Because if you don't take risks, you can't really discover yourself.
But would you agree that Kamine was like a very big turning point for you as an actor?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for sure.
And when he approached you for Haider, did you say yes straight away?
I kept pestering him for a long period of time because he has some phenomenal actors who he has worked with in the past, and so most actors feel very insecure that he will miss out on thinking about them or considering them for a part. There is people like my father, Nasiruddin Shah, Irfan Khan, Tabu, KK. He's worked with the finest actors we've had in the country. So I used to keep going there every 6 months and reminding him about myself and telling him that I was waiting to do a film with him. And that's when we actually had this discussion about Hamlet. And I do remember my father, even before I started acting, my father told me that, star war to ban jaoge, theek hai wo sab, but acting karni hai to Hamlet type ka role kar lena life mein. So it's so strange that 10 years later I had the good fortune of playing the part. So yes, I don't think it was him asking me to do the film. It was me asking him to do any film of his.
Vishal sir, did you get sick of him coming to your door, knocking on your door every day? What did you get sick of him asking to work with you every day?
No. I felt very pampered, Yeah.
Was he your first choice? It's like we're all friends here. We can be honest.
Yeah. Actually, he was not just the first choice, was the last choice too. Yeah.
And you described him as one of the finest actors working in Indian cinema. What do you like about him as an actor?
The actor has to be very natural, that when he acts in front of the camera, it should look real. There is a very famous line by Osho that you have to be acting in your real life and very real in your acting life. So, he's very real in his acting life. So that's what makes him a very good actor.
Now, am I also acting in my real life?
No, I didn't say that.
And when you finally got the script in your hand, did you think to yourself for a moment, actually, even this is too challenging for me? Because it's the most challenging role you've done in your career so far. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I honestly got a narration from Sir. Because when he narrates, it kind of brings out the essence of the film so much more. And I remember I drove back, and the script of the film didn't leave my head. And I couldn't stop thinking about it for almost 2 days. And I think a lot of it, yes, of course, has to do with the part that I was offered, which is very complex and definitely the most difficult role in my career. But it was more to do with the adaptation that Vishal sir had kind of come up with. It was so strong and it was so powerful. And I think the emotional quotient in this film is really the biggest strength of this film. And it stays with you for a while. At least that's how I felt when I read the script. By basing it in Kashmir, he's just taken it to a whole new level in terms of just emotionally how you feel when you view the film. And the only thing that I felt was, I hope I don't let him down, because he has written something which is so phenomenal that as an actor I would want to be able to give him everything that he needs, because you don't get content like that every day, and when you do, you really, really want to give it your best.
There's been a lot of adaptations of Hamlet all over the world, you know, from China to Hollywood. Did you two look at any of the adaptations before you started working on this film, as a director and as an actor?
Yeah, of course, I had seen the Russian, I had seen the Mel Gibson one, but I really loved the Chinese adaptation of Hamlet.
Did you look at any of the performances that people have done in the past as Hamlet, or did you just approach this with a blank canvas?
No, of course. I think Shakespeare in general is somebody who most people are aware of, and my father is a huge Shakespeare fan, so one has heard a lot about him. So one knew about the play, one knew about the part. There was a certain amount of exposure to the different adaptations that have been out there. So that was something that was a part of, kind of researching for the part, so to say. But eventually one has to create the character called Haider, who is his own person, and you have to bring that to life. And so the focus has to shift from taking references from anywhere, because I think what was important was to try and find something original within the script that was offered. So of course one has seen all that, but then you have to start building on a new journey. That's what matters.
And I've got to ask you this: how did you feel when he told you have to shave your head? I mean, did you have any hesitations about that?
That was the only question he asked me when I said that, I really, really want to do this role of Hamlet, and you can't take anybody except me. And he just smiled quietly and he said, "Will you shave your head?" And I looked at him for 5 seconds. I understood he was very serious, and I said, "Yes, I will." And that's how that went.
But were you surprised by how much uproar it got? As soon as you announced it, there was like all across all the news channels and across Twitter that you're going to be shaving your head. Did you expect it to generate that much news? Because everyone was talking about it even before you did it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did it because it was required. I didn't do it because it was meant to create any kind of shocking news or something, which is, that was not the reason to do it. It was very genuinely, and when you'll see the film, you'll understand that the reason why Haider does that is so critical to his state of mind and to the situation in the film. So I didn't think beyond the fact that I was ready to do something. More than anything, it was about the fact that after doing that one particular scene, I would not be able to shoot for anything for almost 4 months. So that was the big decision. It was not really about how people would react or what. It's awesome. It's great when people see that, because we shot for 4 hours for that scene, and that's it. So we could have considered prosthetics, but when you're doing a film like this, which is really from the heart, and which is, I would say, something that you do very passionately, you want to give it what it needs. You don't want to find an alternate solution. And so we did it, and I'm happy that people are noticing it, because it was a big step to take, and it was something which was very, very crucial to the film. Right now they're reacting to the fact that I took my hair off, and I hope on the 2nd of October, when the film releases, they will relate to why it has been done.
But he was definitely surprised to see himself that he looks cool, even when he's shaved off his hair.
He did tell me that, don't worry, we'll make you shave your hair, but we'll make you grow a beard so you won't look like an egg.
Because you actually look very cool. I mean, I was going to say that you actually look very cool.
He had already thought that through, about how he'll convince me by telling me to grow a beard. He said, it'll actually be pretty cool. you won't look like an egg. So
See, so he's one of the finest directors in India, one of the finest composers. Now you can add stylist now to the list of your achievements.
but that he always does. It's amazing how he kind of is always able to rediscover almost every actor that he's worked with. You know, he's able to shock the audience with what he can do with them. And when we kind of try to do it a second time round, the first thing I remember Vishal sir told me was that I don't want Haider's eyes to be your eyes. And I actually have lighter eyes in the film. I've actually worn contacts, and I've never worn contacts in my life, and I was very uncomfortable with the thought of doing it because, you know, your eyes are such a strong medium for you to communicate how you're feeling to the audience. You don't want something in front of them, and the minute we wore them, it just did everything for the character. So he really does have this unbelievable ability to just take an actor and make him look like somebody else. It's amazing.
How do you do that? I mean, with your films, what I love about all of your films, that you always have memorable characters in every single film. The characters stick with you. Do you have a process of how you create the characters for your films?
Yeah, actually, it comes with writing, but how it happens, you know, I wish I knew that. So, you know, I could do it every time right. So, yeah.
But how crucial is the actor to bringing it to life? I mean, when you're doing it, because you take a lot of time, like you said, you got a lot of people that want to work with you. How crucial is it for you to get the actor correct for each role?
Actually, first write your script. Sometimes, you know, most of the time you do that you write your script and then you look for an actor. And sometimes, you know, rarely it happens that you have an actor with you and you have to write it for him. So, you know, it works both ways. But in the case of Hamlet, you know, I was very clear that Shahid would be the best Haider. And the rest of the films, you know, you just you write your characters and you keep looking for an actor who can, you know, break the cliche and, you know, and if you can, you know, reinvent an actor. One thing, you know, if you give something really unusual to an actor, what he has not done in his past, you know, it makes him really edgy and, you know, scary for him. So if you can do that to an actor, that you can push him down the valley, so, you know, then you get the best performance.
What does he do, like as an actor, like to draw out performances from an actor? Because I love the way he always draws out a winning performance. What does he do differently from other directors?
It's to begin with, he's ready to take a risk. That I think is huge. He's ready to give somebody the opportunity to do something that they've not done before. Very few people would take a risk like that. Everybody likes to play it safe because, you know, there's so much that you're kind of betting on every film. Most filmmakers try and cast somebody who is as close to their part as possible. And here there is Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj, who casts somebody who's as opposite to the character that he's written as possible, so he can make them the character. Beyond that, you know, the writer that he is, I mean, I've never felt like Vishal sir's writing for anybody. I mean, he's always being true to the part, and he expects the actor to come and become that part rather than accommodate to their strengths or weaknesses, which forces you to look at yourself in a whole new light. On set, he's very, very easy to work with. I mean, I've very rarely seen him lose his cool. He will just, I mean, almost pamper you as an actor and just guide you through what you need to do.
But how much does it help you that he'll surround you with such big name actors? I mean, Haider has got an incredible list of actors in there. How much does that help you as an actor?
Amazingly, I think, you know, acting is a process of action and reaction. It's a process of sharing. And when you're standing in the same frame as a fine actor, it helps you give a better performance. And that's what I felt happened with me even on Haider when I was doing scenes. And there's a lot of work that me and Tabu ma'am have had together. And I think she's one of the finest actors we have in our country. Just sharing the frame with her and performing with her made me feel like I was learning something new as an actor and probably doing better than I would have done if I didn't have the fortune of having her in the same frame.
And you said that he likes to take risks. Did you think shooting the film in Kashmir would be a risk? And why did you want to shoot the film and set the film there?
I mean, the risk, you know...
People don't do that.
Yeah, risk, you know, life is always, you know, it's at a risky point always. And, I mean, sitting anywhere can be a risk. But Yes, Kashmir. We wanted to be very true and honest to the material, and we couldn't have shot it anywhere else than Kashmir. And when I went there to research the film, and I met people over there. I met the administration. I met the local people, the police, the media, everyone. They are such lovely people, and though it has gone through a really, really bad, conflict, and but it's such a beautiful place that you have to be there to understand that why the Kashmir is the way it is.
And can you talk about the music? I mean, he's one of the great filmmakers now that India has, but sometimes people forget that he's actually an amazing composer as well. Can you talk about the music of the film?
Yeah,
Because for Bismil, you've actually used, is it, what kind of, it's more of a traditional music in that?
yeah, because it has a Kashmiri folk traditional flavor to it, and there's a situation in Hamlet that is mousetrap, where Hamlet calls some players and designs a play to enact the death of his father on the stage, and that was the cue for me for Bismil. And we wanted to use the sound. We wanted to use the sound and sound not just in lyrics, but sound in music also of Kashmir. So Bismil is that. Then there is a song of Gravediggers, which are the very important character. So in our case, the Gravediggers, they dig the grave and sing. And after making that song, I thought that it will be very cool to make a rock version of that. So Auna is the rock version of the Gravediggers song. In a film, it has a different version in it, and I have used Aona's bass line as the background score in the film. Then there's one song called Jehlam, and then I have used Faiz Ahmed Faiz's poem Gulo Mein Rang Bhare Baade Na Bahar Chale, which is sung by Mehdi Hassan. It's a very old composition, and that's also the theme of the film.
For me, the greatest strength about your Shakespeare adaptations, if you compare them to other Shakespeare adaptations, is that you make Shakespeare accessible to the masses. How important is it for you with your films Maqbool, Omkara, and now Haider to make Shakespeare accessible to everybody? And would you agree that's one of the strengths of him as a writer?
No, my intention was not to make Shakespeare accessible to masses. My intention was to make a story which should be accessible to me, and the films are the reflection of the texture of a filmmaker. At least when I see a film, I know the kind of filmmaker he is, because actor, they hide behind the characters, but filmmaker becomes completely emotionally naked on screen. So the films reflect actually the filmmaker.
But I think it's very difficult to adapt Shakespeare to begin with, because Shakespeare's dialogues are probably the most iconic. And it's very, very difficult, especially if you're adapting Shakespeare in another language and in another period, to be able to do justice to them. So I really do think that Vishal sir is not just a director, he's also a writer and he's a music composer. So he kind of is able to reinvent the entire world that one reads in various Shakespeare's plays, and that I think is why people in India have been able to connect with the work that he's done in the past in terms of adapting Shakespeare, whether that's Maqbool, which was Macbeth, or whether it's Othello, which was Omkara, is that he talks the language which people can connect with and understand, whether it's his music or his dialogue. So I think that's probably the reason why he's been able to reach out to such a large section of the country and connect with them. Yeah.
And my favorite moment in the film, in the trailer, is when you're going completely mad, and I'm really looking forward.
There's a lot of such moments in the
film. I'm really looking forward to that scene where you completely lose it. Do you have a favorite moment in the film?
It's difficult to find a moment, I think, because Hamlet is a part which is more to do with the entire graph than rather any particular moment. But definitely the most exciting, the most challenging, and the most memorable was this scene where I go, for which I went bald, which is a 6-page monologue, which I had to rant all in one go. So definitely that's the most significant scene for me as an actor, because it was probably the most difficult thing I've done in my career yet.
And do you have a favorite? I mean, it's unfair to ask you because you've made the film, but do you have one moment in the film that you really love?
It's very difficult, it's very difficult. But I think when we were picturizing that, the famous scene of Hamlet, where Hamlet holds his skull in his hand, I think that's my favorite because it suddenly started snowing over there, and it became impossible to shoot that scene, but we could still achieve that.
And I'm going to put you on the spot now. In your first film, you worked with Shahid's father. Now you're working with Shahid. How do they compare as actors?
No, that he will also say, if you'll ask this question, that his father is unmatchable,
He's
not by
one of the
just
finest
India,
actors in India, yeah.
actor, yeah. So, but Shahid has his talent and his genes, and I could feel that. I was realizing that I have made 8-9 films. Out of those, in I think 5 or 6 films, either Shahid is there or Pankaj is there. So I think I'm also part of the family now.
And talking about your father, is there any one acting trait that you've imbibed from him? 'Cause you've got the best teacher there. I mean,
Yeah, but he is just at another level. So I do remember one thing he told me, and I mean, he had this conversation with me, and it was right before I shot for Jab We Met, where he said, on the big screen, less is more. That's all he said. On the big screen, less is more. And I kind of started applying that into what I did as an actor, because when you start acting, you feel like it's all about what can be seen. So you focus on the external factors to try and express. And after you try that a few times, you realize that something's going very wrong. It's just not feeling right. It's supposed to feel right, but it's not. And then you question how you're doing things. And it was at that time in my career when he kind of said this one line to me, and it really stayed. And after that, all I tried to do was be honest. I just tried to be in the moment and be honest to it. And new things started happening, and a different journey for me started as an actor. So it was a very significant, it was very little, it was just a mention that he made, but it really has been a huge part of my process as an actor. And he's like that, I mean, he just comes up with these one lines here and there. Very rare to comment, very rare to say something. If you keep digging, you might get one line here or there, which is pretty much a gem that will help you for many years to come.
and you know how to spot good acting talent. What, according to you, makes for a good actor?
If you can be real, as I said, it's you are creating reality in that unreal space. So you have to make it believe that. So if you are going to be, if you can be real in front of camera, and that's the acting.
And you two did Kamina together. Are we going to see a sequel to Kamina? Because we've been waiting for the sequel since you've made it. Who wants to see a sequel to Kamina?
Please convince him, because I've been trying very hard. Come on, Charlie.
Will you be making a sequel?
Yeah, we are planning that, and it's called Mahakamine.
Okay, so he's committed to it now, and we've filmed it, so you have to make it now. Okay, right. Have you got any really good questions about Haider? Okay, can we go to this lady here?
Hi. Hi, Shahid.
Hello, hi.
I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions. First one is, how is it like working with Shahid Kapoor? And second, is it possible to get a picture with you?
We can do that. We can do that at the end. We could. What was it like working with Shraddha?
Well, I've known Shraddha for a while now. I've known her because I know her brother and I know her family and stuff. And I remember when the first announcement about Haider came out, she messaged me and said that she wanted to be a part of this film. And today she is. She's a very talented girl. I think she's really pretty, and people really like her. She's got a very innocent, endearing personality. And I had good fun working with her on this film, actually.
Okay. Have you got
And
a
yes,
question?
we'll do the picture at some point.
Okay, have you got a question?
Hi Shahid, I'm Annie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm all right.
What was the biggest challenge you faced when taking on this role?
You know, Hamlet is a character which is very complex, and it's not just a physical transformation; it's also a mental transformation. There's a lot of things when you play this role that there are a lot of things that need to be communicated, which are between the lines. And when you shoot a film, you don't really shoot it. You shoot certain portions and then you shoot other portions, and it's never shot coherently. So to not miss out on the various facets that the character was giving me the opportunity to portray, because it was not really single dimension, various layers, was very difficult. There's also a portion in the film where you'll feel like maybe Hamlet's gone mad, but you need to feel like he might have gone mad. You can't be convinced of the fact that he has, and you can't be convinced of the fact that he hasn't. And that was the most difficult to play, because you need to feel like maybe he is, but maybe he's not. And it's always difficult to communicate something which is an unclear communication.
This lady over here's got a question. You got a microphone there, dear?
आप पहले फोटो ले लो आंटी.
Thank you, Shahid. How
हाँ
are
जी,
you?
very well. How are you?
How are you, Vishal ji?
Thank you.
Welcome to London.
Thank you.
I would like to ask one question. That is, in this Shakespeare's play, which play did you like the best? Because when I was young, even I used to learn Hamlet in my school.
You're still young.
Thank
जी
you.
मेरा तो हैमलेट ही फेवरेट हो गया है, बिकॉज मुझे चांस मिल गया करने का,
That's good.
तो मुझे तो हैमलेट बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
Yeah, it is very good to, if you grab it properly, it's very good to learn.
Am I tried very hard to grab it now, proper or not proper? 2nd October you decide.
Yeah, sure. I'll see that picture in the
Thank you,
theatre.
thank you.
This lady over here's got a question.
Hi, Shahid.
Hey, hi.
Okay, mine's more not a question, more of a wish. Can you do that line? Hello? Hello?
Okay, we put it into context so people who are watching the podcast. This is a dialogue from the film that we all love.
Yeah, well, hello. Mic testing 1 2 3. Hello. आवाज आ रही है आप लोगों को?
Shahid, namaste.
Namaste.
Vishal, namaste. Vishal, what were the challenges for the work? Because Shakespeare is a big thing, and going into Hindi cinema, were there any challenges you faced from the film industry?
Initially, yes, definitely not in Hamlet, but initially when I was planning to do Macbeth in Maqbool, I really faced a lot of challenges, and you know, since then it was made in 2004 or 2003. Since then, the Bollywood has really grown into something more understanding, more evolved. But at that time, you know, whenever I went to the financier, they used to tell me that please, from your front page of the script, please take out Shakespeare's name, because people will think that it's very boring. To the point now, they want me to make the quartet for one more film from Shakespeare.
Will you make a fourth film?
Yeah, I mean, I have to make the choice, because I am in a real life Hamlet, to be or not to be. I remain very uncertain. So, you know, I may do a quartet, or I may do 3 more comedies. So I'm really not sure, you know, what I'm going to do.
Okay, who's going to ask the final question? Okay, we've not had anybody from over there. So this lady here.
Hi Vishal, hi Shahid, welcome to the UK.
Where are you?
Here!
Hello.
Stand up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Right, this question is from the both of us, so I think we're more to Shahid. If Vishal was to make another Shakespeare production, what would be your choice, your next? What would you like to star in if he was going to make another Shakespeare production?
Actually, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I would actually be very curious to see Vishal sir's interpretation of Romeo and Juliet, because we've seen. But I would want to play Juliet. Don't ask me why. Sorry? Absolutely.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Shahid Kapoor and Vishal Bhardwaj. And make sure you watch the film Haider when it comes out on October the 2nd.